Right.
Now I don't have to get permission for shit.
Recording in progress.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. And fuck the Blackhawks.
Fuck the Blackhawks. Like that literally should be the opening. Fuck the Blackhawks.
On that note, should we get started?
Cheers. Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, all right. I guess this is a video on my channel, so I should intro it.
Probably, yeah.
Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and today I have a very special guest with me, Miss Beth.
Hello.
How you doing?
That's a really loaded question this evening, Courtney. That is a very loaded question because we just saw Rocky Wirtz drop shit all over the stage.
This is
fire him into the sun.
Like, very true.
That's a loaded question. I have wine, so
yes, me as well. How about before we jump into the tire fire that is our team, you tell the people what you do and where they can find you. Let's start with the good stuff and then we'll move on.
Absolutely. Hello to the people. My name is Beth. I am a writer for Beyond Women's Sports and an editor for Belly Up Sports. You can find me on the Bird app at Wonder Beffers and on the Gram at Good Better Beffers. And you can find all of my writings at beyondwomensports.com. Our website just got a revamp. It's super pretty now.
It's super great. And y'all only talk about women's sports, right?
Only women's sports. We leave the men's stuff to the Belly Up side. We only talk about women's sports.
And not just
basketball,
hockey, right?
Yeah, basketball, hockey, soccer, wrestling. If women play the sport, we try to discuss it. We have a pretty diverse group of writers in our amazing team. So we pretty much try to talk about any and everything we can.
That's awesome. You're going to be pretty busy with the Olympics coming up.
I know. I'm very much so looking forward to staying up until God knows what time today because the preliminary rounds start today. Thank God I have a fridge full of energy drinks because Olympics 12-hour time zone difference means what is sleep? Who needs it?
You know, back in my younger days, back in 2014, when I was watching as many Olympic hockey games as I possibly could, and I will never forget that year between the US and Canada. But anyway,
on both sides, both the men's side and the women's side was, it was a tournament. It was a tournament.
The women's side was way more heartbreaking. I will never forget that puck going off of the goalpost.
Oh, bar down pain. Like bar down pain. They were showing that on Instagram. One of the hockey sites I follow, they were like, never forget this moment. I was like, oh, I hate you so much right
All you have to do is see the picture of like the puck next to the post. You're like, I know what that's from.
I know what happens next. Like, I didn't know you could see a whole video from a picture, but oh, there it is right in my brain.
Right? I was in between two classes. So I was in college during that year. So I was in one class when the game started. And I was just like discreetly watching it on my computer as a good student does. And then I had a break. So I went and I got Panera because it was right down the street, got some soup. It was broccoli cheddar soup. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Bread bowl? No bread bowl.
No Red Bull. Probably coffee. So I think there was a Starbucks like right next to the Panera. So we were like all about it was all about the chain restaurants and stuff because I was in downtown Chicago. So that's what you're going to find on Michigan Avenue. So I went to Roosevelt University. Anybody who knows what the heck that is, you know what I'm talking about. It was in the Gage building. But yeah, so I got Panera, got Starbucks, took it to my next class. And I was watching it, eating my soup. Then the class started and then overtime happened and then it ended. I was just like, fuck. Just in the middle of class.
Yeah, I feel like same, except for I was in Florida in my living room, just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
But yeah, thankfully, everybody knew like how much of a hockey fan I was. And that was during the golden years of the team we'll get to eventually. So I was in the right city. Everybody knew. Yeah. So they were all like, They lost, didn't they? I was like, yes, they did.
They did lose. I don't want to talk about it right now, okay?
I don't want to talk about how it happened either.
I feel that.
Thankfully, 2018 redeemed it, sort of, with that amazing shootout, but just the heartbreak of 2014 and that fucking puck off of the post.
Fucking bar down goal.
It would have
haunts my nightmares.
Yep. Fucking
so many.
Fleet Poulin. Why are you so good at hockey?
Why are you so good at hockey? Why are you not American? Why?
For real, our team is already stacked. We need more.
Right? We need more. We need more. Stack it higher. We need more.
Exactly. Stack it to the ceiling.
To the rafters. Like, let's go.
But this is all of the good things about sports. And then we transition to the men's side.
Dumpster fire.
And both of us, unfortunately, are Blackhawks fans.
Yay.
And if you've been around this team for the last less than a year publicly.
Yeah.
But for the last year, give or take a few months, you know what a dumpster fire it has fucking been.
Yeah. I'm gonna take another drink of wine before we continue this conversation.
Yeah, me too. So when was it? It was May when the story broke, right?
Correct. Well, May was when the story broke about the lawsuits being filed.
Yes.
So
Rick Westhead did amazing work throughout the whole
we need
thing.
a million Rick Westheads in this world. Like a million.
Seriously. Just more and more and more and more, because that's the only way anything is going to change with this stupid sport. And we thought we were moving in the right direction. We had
houses cleaned.
Yes.
We had things thrown out. This came into play. I thought this shirt was retired.
Your fire everyone shirt.
I didn't think we needed to fire any more people. I felt we did all the firings that needed to be fired. I mean, minus Shovel Day Off, but we won't talk about that. But then
tonight happened. You know, Stan Bowman was, we'll say, let go. He was allowed to resign, which, take that however you will. I guess that means he doesn't keep collecting salary, whatever. Excuses.
It means we don't have to continue to pay him because he resigned and he was not fired before the end of his contract.
Right. Which,
so
whatever. It sounds better if you fire somebody, but whatever.
We'll take what we can get at this point.
Exactly. He's not here anymore. John McDonough's not here anymore. Al McIsaac isn't here anymore. Joel Quenneville isn't coaching anymore. Mark Bergevin still has a job. He's with the Kings now, and Shovel Day Off with the Jets. But, you know, the main players in the game
the main players
in
the game.
Yes. You know, except for the owner of the team is still here. And
but he didn't know. He didn't know.
Yeah, it didn't know. You know, I gave them the benefit of the doubt when the report came out. And, you know, the Wirtzes didn't know. They didn't know.
Yeah.
If John McDonough didn't tell them, how would they know, you know?
Exactly, because, like, it seemed like he kept pretty much all of that real close to the chest. Yeah. So it would not surprise me for Rocky to not know.
Exactly.
If John McDonough did the John McDonough things that John McDonough do. Because he has a history of shady shit. So.
And it's all PR. Which,
one goal, guys, one goal.
They really could have used tonight as a PR person.
to escort Rocky Wirtz off of the podium as soon as Mark Lazarus stood up and asked the question we all needed to hear. Mark Lazarus, we love you.
Yes. So today is February 2nd, 2022. And the Blackhawks decided they were going to have a town hall for their fans and the media to talk about the direction of the team moving forward, because also within the last year and a half we've gone through a rebuild and everybody knew about it. The players knew about it. The front office knew about it, but it wasn't a rebuild, which
It
Emily
wasn't a rebuild.
Kaplan reported. It wasn't a rebuild, even though the former GM said it was a rebuild and everybody knew about it.
But then he came out and said it wasn't a rebuild. So.
And then they traded 2 first-round picks and Adam Boquist for Seth Jones.
Because it wasn't a rebuild, $9.5 million.
For 8 years? For 8 years. All right. Not a rebuild.
Not a rebuild.
They wanted to talk about the direction now that they have their interim GM, Kyle Davidson. They're looking for a new GM. Apparently, they want to hire before the trade deadline.
Well, that's all fucking ruined now.
It sure is. So they come into the town hall tonight. It is Rocky Wirtz, Danny Wirtz, and Jamie Faulkner.
And Eddie O.
And Eddie, who was the host, moderator,
MC, moderator.
Yeah.
Guy with
reading
the
questions, guiding the conversation, sort of. And
kind of.
God bless Eddie and Jamie and Danny, because I think their souls left their body tonight. You could see it.
You could see the soul vacate their body when
you
went
could
off.
see it. You could see the souls. They were no longer there. They were just dead inside.
No, they were just gone.
Oh, and the Wild are beating the Blackhawks 2-0 right now, since there's a game tonight also.
Of course.
So it starts out and they're talking about how it's been hard for fans to follow the team over the last 18 months, talking about how they haven't performed.
Don't say.
I know, right? No kidding. They haven't performed on
Who
the
you
ice.
telling?
They've gone through challenges and hardships, and they need to win the right way.
Are we winning the right way now? Are we going to win the right way now?
As opposed to what? What was the wrong way?
Oh, we all know what the wrong way is. And I feel like we would be remiss not to say we stand with Kyle Beach.
Yes, 100%. We stand with and for Kyle Beach, and he deserves the fucking world because he is an absolute hero.
And we stand with John Doe too.
Yes, and Black Ace 1.
And Black Ace 1, all of you.
And anybody else who may have been a victim of this horrible, horrible man and franchise. That's why we've touched on it a little bit in the podcast and on other videos, but it's hard for me to blame players from that time because we don't know who else, we don't know.
We don't know who else. And for me, the other thing, like as a human, if the person in question was no longer there, I would just assume that meant the right thing was done. Because as a player, like I'm the lowest on the totem pole.
Right.
So if that person's gone, then okay.
It was taken care of.
Something was taken care of. However, what we can't stand with are any of the players who stood by whilst derogatory, inflammatory, and awful things were said towards Kyle Beach.
And
because
the ones
that's not okay.
Him afterwards and called him gay slurs and everything else on the ice.
Not okay. Like I would love a list of names to know who I should never support again in my entire life.
Like
because
the rational side of my brain says yes. The already emotional and in pain side of my brain says, God, please don't tell me.
Right? Because I don't need my heart to break anymore. Like we've had this conversation. Like, I don't know how to not love hockey.
Yeah.
I've loved hockey literally my entire life. My dad jokes I was born with ice skates on, like followed my first game end to end allegedly at 6 months old, according to my father. Like I have never not loved hockey. I don't know how to not love hockey. I don't know how to not love this team.
Yep.
Most of if we're going to go Disney, most of my core memories involve the Blackhawks.
All of my falling in love with hockey and all of the good memories involve this team because I became a fan right before the playoffs in 2010. There just happened to be a game on the TV in my living room. It was the Blackhawks versus the Anaheim Ducks. It was Corey Crawford's only game of that season. Only game.
Oh, such a good game
of that season.
I remember that game. Like, I grew up in Norfolk. My dad worked for the Norfolk Admirals. I saw most of these guys play their entire careers, not like just their Blackhawks careers. Like, I've seen Duncan Keith from his AHL days until now, Corey Crawford till now, all of them, especially from that 2010 team.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen their careers from the AHL until now. So, like, that year for me, that was huge. Like, there are so many people who I've conversed with whose names are on the Stanley Cup, one, if not more times.
Yeah.
Like, I've known Al McIsaac since I was 6.
Man.
Yeah.
That's rough.
So, like, this team is a part of me. I have a Norfolk Admirals Blackhawks affiliate practice jersey in my closet. Like, like, it's Chris Durno, who never really went anywhere, but still, like, he was a good dude. Like, he was a legitimately good dude. But, like, this team, when the Admirals announced that their affiliate was going to be the Blackhawks, if you want to talk about, like, a happy human, hi.
Right.
I lived in Norfolk. My dad worked for the team. Hello. Like, it was a heartbreaking year before. We lost our ECHL team because they moved up to the AHL, but they were like, Blackhawks affiliate. I was like, I'm in. I'm sold. Let's go. Let's do this.
And your dad's from Chicago, right? Or from the Chicago area?
He grew up in Maywood, went to Proviso East, lives in Bolingbrook now. So, I mean, he's a Chicago kid through and through. He used to ride trains to go to Cubs and Hawks games. Like,
so it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I was born this way.
Yeah. And like, I born and raised in Rockford, Illinois. And the strange thing is, like, before that team, you didn't hear anything about the Blackhawks in Rockford. We're only an hour and change northwest of the city. But because of all of those years with the Wirtz family,
Dollar Bill Wirtz.
Yeah. Not putting the games on TV, we never heard about them up here. We knew we had the Ice Hogs, but I didn't know they were affiliated with the Blackhawks.
Well, and that, I mean, prior to 2010, that was only a couple years prior to 2010 that they became affiliated.
Affiliated in 2007?
Yes, because they moved the affiliate.
You did. Correct.
You did. They moved the affiliation from Norfolk to Rockford when they bought the franchise. And then Norfolk became affiliated with Tampa Bay. It's a story I don't even want to go into because it does not end well, friends. Courtney heard the story the other day.
Episode in general.
Like it doesn't end well. Courtney heard the story the other day. Like, it doesn't end well. But like that, like, heartbreak. Like, heartbroken. But it's fine. I still had local hockey. And then it was, I mean, John Cooper was the coach of the Admirals. So, like, things weren't bad. They went on a magical run in 2012. Like, magical. Won the Calder Cup. It was beautiful. It didn't end well. So it's one of those things where I've always been blessed to have, like, local minor league hockey. With the exception of, like, the first 7 years we lived in Florida. I literally sat on the stairs and cried at Norfolk Scope in 2010, November 2010, sat on the stairs and cried because we were moving to Florida and there was no hockey here. Like, there was no hockey in Jacksonville. My mom had to, like, pick me up off of the stairs and, like, drag my blubbery ass to the car because I was a wreck.
When did the Icemen come?
The Icemen, this is their 5th season. So they started in 2017. Like, legit got the Facebook memory today that, like, it was officially announced that hockey was coming back to Jacksonville.
Oh my gosh, I saw them in, like, their 2nd season then.
It was bad. The 2nd season was awful. I'm so sorry that you had to go and see that.
Yeah, I think the game I went to, like, they got out to a huge lead and then they lost. I was like, really, guys?
Yeah, that's pretty that was pretty standard for Jacksonville hockey. So
it was December of 2017.
It's crazy because I was probably at the game that you went to.
Yeah.
It's probably there.
Probably. That's so crazy.
I might have even like passed you in the hallways and been like, "Go Hawks," because that's what I do when people are wearing Blackhawks things.
Yep.
But it's fine. It's fine. But I went 7 years without local hockey. So when the Iceman came, like, where my allegiance is gonna lie. Like, hello, come to me.
Absolutely.
We are friends. I love you forever.
Story these days.
Let me tell you what. The Connecticut Whale are the only hockey team that have not broken my heart in the last 30 days.
Yes.
So, like, don't yet me. No, don't do that to me. I can't.
I have to because I'm conditioned to have a yet at the end of all of these good sentences because every team that I follow has a yet.
Well, it was earlier you were like, I am cursed. No, honey. We are cursed. We are cursed.
Seriously.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, like, after these 49 years of nothing, like, pretty bad teams in Chicago, like, there were some good ones.
There was like one good year in the 90s where they like made it to the cup finals and lost.
They went to the final to Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, to the final and lost.
Was that like
heartbreaking?
92, the year before I was born?
Oh God,
I know.
I feel like it was later than that. I honestly can't remember. I just remember like watching the game with my dad and like sobbing because we were so excited. Like they made it to the final. They were there. We watched every game. This was back in the dark ages where you didn't have streaming apps and NHL Center Ice. Like those things didn't exist. So
it was 1992.
Oh gosh.
That's where all of this pointless knowledge and this stupid brain about this stupid fucking Blackhawks team.
I was 6. Like, talk about core hockey memories. Like, I was 6 years old.
I was thought.
You were a thought in somebody's head. Like, we rarely got to see Blackhawks games on TV in Virginia. We lived in Virginia at the time. We rarely got to see it. If we did, they were playing the Capitals. Sorry, I can't say it any other way. That's just how it comes out of my mouth. We were playing.
I mean, the expansion Capitals team is literally the worst team in the history of hockey. I mean, so
not gonna lie, I'm gonna humble brag for just a second here. Ivan LeBray taught me how to ice skate. So, first retired Capitals number in the rafters. So I mean, like,
yeah, but he's no Ovi.
Well, Ovi was like a thought in somebody's head in Russia at the time. So he was
we were both just thoughts.
He was like my age playing hockey in Russia. Nobody knew who he was. But I mean, like they were bad. They were not good. They were not good.
So the Hawks were terrible. You come to this 2010 team and it's just for Blackhawks fans. You go off the radio call, Blackhawks fans around the world. Lord Stanley's new address is Sweet Home Chicago. How many times have I listened to that fucking video?
So many times. I remember like standing in my living room screaming, crying on the phone with my dad. Like I never thought that this would happen. Like we were both on the phone sobbing.
You want to hear something funny?
Absolutely.
Were you living in Jacksonville at the time? When they won?
It was.
When they won that night, when they won the cup, I was in Jacksonville, Florida.
So I was having a welfare check run on me because we lived on NAS Mayport. And I was like screaming and sobbing so loudly. Our house was like right by the front gate. And I wish I could tell you I was lying when I said that they sent security to come check on me and do a welfare check because I was like sobbing with my windows open because it was gorgeous outside. And they thought somebody was like beating or murdering me, I guess. I don't know.
God.
Like I answered the door in like head to toe Blackhawks gear. I had my sweater on, I had my PJ pants on, I had my toque on because it was fucking June in Florida, but who cares? Because I'm watching hockey.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. The Blackhawks just won the Stanley Cup." They're like, "Okay, man, have a good night." Like, try to keep it down. It's late. Like, mess. Still get like emotional thinking about it. Like, hearing Doc Emmerich in my brain, like, call the Patrick Kane thinks he scored a goal. Like, where's the puck? Nobody knows where the puck is.
I just hear the radio call with John Weideman. It's in. It's in. They won the Stanley Cup. It's over.
So Michael Leighton played for the Norfolk Admirals.
Oh, Leights. Ice Hogs legend Michael Leighton. Shutout king in the AHL. Michael Leighton.
Yes. Love him. Played for the Norfolk Admirals. I was a little conflicted when he was in net because like there's always that like internal part of you that never forgets like those players. And I saw Patrick Kane shot the puck. I saw the net pop and I lost it. Like screaming, just, oh my God, it's in.
You, Kane, and Sharpie were the only people who knew that puck was in.
And part of that is just like hockey IQ. Like, I know what to look for. I did not see a tiny black thing on my television, and I saw the net go, bloop. Yep. Like just that little bloop. That's all you need. That little bloop. That's all you need. And I was like, on the phone, Dad, it's in. And he was like, I was like, it's in. It's in the net. I swear it's in the net. Nobody has it. It's in the net.
And then they're all Kane's just flying down the ice, mobbing Antti Niemi, who was my first favorite goaltender. Nick Hjalmarsson was my first favorite player.
Hammer.
And listen to us. We're talking about this 2010 team, and it's bringing us joy remembering these memories. And that's what this team has done to us, because you think about it now, like outside of telling stories, and it is just miserable because we're here talking about these stories. Oh, it's such a happy time. The Blackhawks finally won the Stanley Cup.
49 years.
And one of their players was being sexually assaulted and nobody gave a fuck.
And nobody did shit.
Nobody did
shit.
And
then we didn't hear about it for 11 fucking years.
11 fucking years. He had his day with the cup. He had his name on the cup for a fucking decade until they just exited out.
I will tell you, I saw the Stanley Cup at the ECHL All-Star game, and I looked for that team.
Yeah.
And seeing those X's was cathartic.
Yeah.
Because no matter what the Blackhawks try to do, there's a story on that cup now. And kids are going to be like, why is that guy's name not there anymore?
Yep.
And I mean, when I took my picture with the cup, I had my hand on the 14-15 team. That's just where it happened to be. It was just right there. It's fine. Yeah. Everything's fine. But to see those X's on the cup, like they didn't just buff his name off, because there's really no way to do that. It's silver.
Right.
There were always, until many years from now, when that ring is finally off the cup and in the Hockey Hall of Fame to live permanently forever. Anytime somebody sees that cup and doesn't know what happened to Kyle Beach and to John Doe 2 and to Black Ace 1 and to the Blackhawk staff members, and who knows who else, like, their story is not going to die, because anybody who's not a Blackhawks fan will be happy to tell the reason why that name is X'd out on the cup. I'm a Blackhawks fan, and I will happily tell anybody.
Oh yeah,
because he was a piece of shit who did awful things, and the Blackhawks let it happen.
They should X out the ex-GM's name, the ex-coach's name. They should X them all out. Again, like, it's hard for me to blame the players, because we don't know.
At the end of the day, if this was a youth team, we wouldn't blame the players.
Yep.
Because though they are adults, they are not the people in positions of authority.
Right.
And they are not the ones who make hiring and firing decisions. Like, at the end of the day, as much as this hurt me, like, fuck you, Joel Quenneville.
Yeah.
Because they came to you and they told you what happened, and you let that piece of shit keep traveling with the team.
Because he didn't want a distraction.
It's not like he was that fucking important. It's not like he
video
couldn't do his job over the fucking internet. The internet in 2010 is not much different than the internet is now.
No.
He could have very easily sent you timestamps of clips to watch for whatever video you fucking needed. Fuck you.
You could have found a fan that was better at that job.
I used to respect the fuck out of him.
Yep.
Like, his passion for the game, next level.
Nobody likes winning more than me.
Too far next fucking level, apparently. Because human life didn't mean shit to you.
Yeah. And we have our qualms with how some of the players have handled it recently. But again, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know. Like,
well, it's just like at training camp, you don't know what rink he was on when these things were said. You don't know who he was around.
Right. You don't know if they were also victims. So their way of coping with it was to put it all on that guy, because it's known that it happened to him. It's not known that it happened to me.
If I make fun of that guy, then nobody will assume that this happened to me too.
Exactly. And like, part of my brain is like, you're rationalizing this away so you don't have to blame your players, but the other half is like, you really don't know. And that's how some people also deal with trauma.
A lot of them were, yes, they were adults.
That team but they were not like fucking young.
They were not aged adults. They were 19, 20, 21 years old.
Like, think of all the shit the stupid Kane shit was I did into.
Oh, punching cabbies.
Yeah. Talk about fucking character arc with that guy.
Can we talk about how the greatest personal growth that's happened on this team is Patrick Kane?
Patrick fucking Kane? Are you kidding me?
Who saw this coming? Who saw the greatest personal growth on the Chicago Blackhawks happening with Patrick fucking Kane? Like, not me. Mad respect to you, Kaner. Like, mad respect.
Like you said the other day, Papa Kane is a lot different than non-Papa Kane.
PK3, man. PK3 changed Patrick Kane's life forever in the best way possible.
He did.
And you see it on ice play too.
Yeah, that doesn't excuse everything he did, obviously.
No, not even close.
People still don't give up talking about the punching the cabbie thing, and they shouldn't, you know? No. Like, people still talk about it, and they still hold him accountable for it, and you can think whatever you want about him, but when it comes to this and Brad Aldrich, like, unless every single person who had a negative, harmful encounter with him comes forward, we aren't going to know. We don't even know who Black Ace 1 is, and like, God bless that player. Like, we don't have to know who it is if they don't want to come forward. We only know who Kyle Beach is because he decided to come forward with his story.
He was brave as hell.
That fucking interview.
Like, I have only watched it once. I cannot, like, the strength and the bravery he showed.
Yep.
Like, I'm a survivor myself. Like, it took me a long time to come to terms with that. It took this for me to come to terms with that. Like,
and that's why why he's such a hero, you know, because it did allow other people to come forward and tell their truths. And if this guy that we all knew was a first-round draft pick and highly touted as a prospect, he can come forward, then I can feel comfortable coming forward too. And I think that's great, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's like the empathy that he showed to John Doe too as well. Like, he never should have been put in the position to take responsibility for what happened to John Doe too. Like,
because he didn't do anything. He is the victim.
No, he did what he was supposed to do. He reported to who he was supposed to report to. Like, I used to teach preschool. Like, I wanted to be an elementary school teacher, but Florida, that's all I'm saying. Like, whew. Like, I'm a mandated reporter. I still, like, even though I don't teach anymore, like, I still carry that with me. And don't give me this BS, well, he was an adult and it was an adult. No, he told you he was assaulted. So do your fucking job, Blackhawks.
There wasn't even a fucking investigation because they just let him resign.
Well,
there
yeah,
wasn't a fucking investigation into this.
The options should not have been resign or go on leave and investigate. The option should have been, we're going to investigate. Your choices are to go on leave or to resign.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to investigate either way. We're not going to give you a fucking day with the cup to take it to a school around children.
We are not going to allow you to work with USA fucking hockey. Also, like, fuck the PA. Oh, fuck USA hockey. Like,
what is the NHLPA for?
That's a great question, because
what the fuck do they do?
Outside of helping big name stars get help.
Do they?
Carey Price.
He had to enter that program himself. Like, yeah, it's great that this program is a thing, but did the PA do shit?
Outside of have the program exist? Probably not. Donald Fear, fuck you. Like,
Gary Bettman,
because
fuck you.
Oh, dude, when they posted the 29th year since Gary joined, like, the ratio comments on that Twitter feed were amazing. Because you know what? If there's one thing, thank you, but if there's one thing that all hockey fans can agree on, it is fuck Bettman. Gary Bettman. Like, fuck that guy. The only city who apparently was not on board for this was fucking Seattle. The fucking expansion draft. How are you not gonna boo Gary Bettman as soon as he comes out on the stage, Seattle? Right. The moment you see that man's face, boo should come out of your mouth.
Like, I know you're new and all, but like,
there were claps, and I was like, hold up, why are people clapping? And then the claps turned to boos, and I was like, okay, welcome to the NHL, Seattle. Like, you have arrived, you figured it out. Like,
exactly.
How are you gonna clap for that man? How are you gonna clap for that man?
You don't.
Unless you're an Arizona Coyotes fan, because you know he's just hopelessly in love with your franchise.
You can play for a crowd of 200 and he'll be like, yeah, that's my Coyotes. There they go.
Way to go, Yotes. You brought the Kachina back. You're ready to go. Kachina's in. The Coyotes are alive and well.
Okay, the Kachina is one of the best jerseys in the NHL, and I will die on that hill.
I will die on that hill too. But they brought Kachina's back, and he was like, you can play in front of 5,000 people. I don't care. Kachina is here to stay.
Yeah, it's Arizona and the owners. And they're like, yeah, Bettman. Everybody else,
let's go.
Fuck
trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Talking about the owners, I don't know how we got here. No idea how we got here. So we were talking about the town hall that they had tonight with Rocky Wirtz, Danny Wirtz, Jamie Faulkner. So they start out talking about how they're going to address the team on the ice and how they've been bad and how they want to hire a new GM who will be totally accountable for how the
everything.
Team, yes, they will be completely accountable, because don't look at us, it's the GM.
Because we all know Stan Bowman was not completely accountable for fucking shit.
No, he wasn't accountable for anything. A bad move happened. Oh, it was probably John McDonough. He came up with that.
No, this wasn't my idea. The coach wanted to get rid of him.
Exactly. So then, talking about all of this accountability and everything, and you and I were talking on Twitter, and you were like, it's all a bunch of fluff so far. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying not to get very mad, but I am getting mad, because they're talking about all of these complicated things they've had to work through in the past year, but they would not say Kyle Beach's name. They wouldn't say it.
It was so much like PR fluff and buzzwords. Like, that was the whole beginning of the town hall.
We're going to win the right way. People will be held accountable. And I'm like, as opposed to what? You have to say where you came from to say why these things are important moving forward. Not just the team sucks. We all know that.
We all know you suck. It's fine. We already know that.
Suck. We know you were in a rebuild. And then you weren't in a rebuild because you went out and got Seth fucking Jones for no goddamn fucking reason.
Can you suck more so we can actually get a first round draft pick this year? Like, can you suck more, please? Because sucking at 24th place is not enough.
Except maybe not this year, so then we can like just get it out of the way and give Columbus our first round pick, so then we can move on to next year and then be real bad and get Connor Bedard. That would be fine. Although this team doesn't fucking deserve it.
True statement.
Just, but the fan side of my brain is like, what if?
After next year, like there might be some retirements happening. So
we can only fucking hope. Because we have the corpse of our captain on the ice. I don't know that he is on the ice, but it's the corpse of him. Like Kane
some version of him.
Kane is there when he cares.
Kane has turned into like the greatest like hockey dad on the ice, like just dishing pucks to everybody so that they can score goals. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily sad about the fact that he's like dishing pucks to Kat and dishing pucks here and dishing pucks there. And occasionally he's like, you know what I'm going to do for you guys because I love you? I'm going to score a goal myself. And you know what? Maybe I'll score two. It's fine because, I love you guys and I'm a dad now. So I'm going to do dad things and like share the love.
And I would be even more fine with it if the other players were actually scoring, but they're not.
It would be.
Only Kat.
The Blackhawks. You remember when the Blackhawks used to score goals?
Wasn't that fun?
Those were good times.
Remember when we had like Marian Hossa?
I'm glad that he's involved in this whole like GM decision, but the fact that he's involved means that he's not a candidate. So maybe he's a candidate for president of hockey apps.
Maybe, or like owner.
Hossa, please, Marian Hossa, please. For the love of God, buy the team from Rocky Wirtz, please.
Until today, February 2nd, 2022, I had no ill feelings toward Rocky Wirtz.
Same.
He was always that guy that like saved the franchise. Like fuck his dad for real. Like that's why I didn't know the Blackhawks existed. It's because his dad
fucked the Blackhawks. Dollar Bill Wirtz fucked everything. Like no game for you. No game for you. Fuck you. Nothing for you. Nothing for you. You have to come into this arena to watch hockey.
Yep. And pay like $5 because nobody wanted to see that bad fucking team.
And then Rocky comes and he's like, you know what, guys? I'm so sorry.
He is the savior.
I am going to bring you hockey.
You know what? You can watch the games.
And you get to watch it. And we're going to make it so you can listen to it. And like
we're going to bring Pat Foley back.
Oh, Pat Foley. We're going to bring Eddie O on board.
And guess what? We are going to spend to the salary cap so we can pay our players.
We're going to give them money and we're going to draft smart. We're going to get this Jonathan Toews guy. We're going to get this Patrick Kane guy. And you know what? Marian Hossa had a tough run in Pittsburgh and Detroit. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring him in here. And we're going to win a cup. And we're going to win a fucking cup because that's our one goal. It's our one goal to win one cup.
One goal.
We did it. We did it. We won the cup. Woo! We get outdoor games. We get Stadium Series and Winter Classic. And everybody hates the Blackhawks because they're always playing in outdoor games.
And everybody hates the Blackhawks because they're always winning games and they're always good. And
Except for the outdoor games. We don't win those, but it's fine because the years we lose those, we know what we do. We win fucking Stanley Cups.
Except for that one game at Soldier Field when they played the Pittsburgh Penguins, even though Brent Seabrook scored an own goal, they still won that game.
They still won that game. But you know what? In 2015, I was at the Winter Classic. I was on the third baseline. I watched the boys warm up playing two-touch at the dugout. And we lost. But you know what? They took the 360 picture right after the Blackhawks scored a goal. And you want to know how I know? Because I'm standing up like this. I'm the happiest of humans surrounded by not happy humans. And I blame it on the switch halfway through the period. That is the reason that we lost. They should have just delayed the game another fucking hour.
Yep.
Because we were already there. We were already hanging out. We were already having a good time. Should have just delayed the game another hour. No switchy. Because you know what? The sun was in Corey Crawford's eyes.
Yep. Was that the one against Washington?
Mm-hmm. I saw it. Sun, eyes, glare, ice.
How is he supposed to stop a puck if the sun is in his eyes?
Exactly.
You can't.
They should have just, 30 minutes after the game started, there was no sun glare on the ice. None. All gone. They should have waited. They should have delayed the game. We were all totally fine with all of the delays that happened.
Oh yeah, you just
totally
give
fine.
People enough booze and enough food, they're fine.
Right? I made a trip to the sushi stand. I got all sorts of good shit. I got a seat cushion. I got a lanyard. I got a program. Got a little Zamboni that I sent to my dad.
There you go.
Loved it. You could have delayed it. Lee Greenwood was there. He could have sang God Bless America 47 more times. We would have been totally okay with it.
People would have been lit.
Totally fine. It was DC. Sing God Bless America more, please. Make up more verses to this song, Lee Greenwood. We're in the nation's capital. We would have been down for it. Yeah. Totally fine. But no. But you know what? I knew when we lost that game. Knew what was coming next. Because you want to know what happened every other outdoor game that we lost?
Stanley Cup until they played the Boston Bruins at Notre Dame, the game that I was at, where they ran out of food and ran out of alcohol in the first intermission. And then they lost. And we had Cameron Kenneth Ward in net. And we did not win the Stanley Cup that year.
Well, we also had Cam Ward in net.
Yeah, I really liked Cam Ward before that year.
I liked OG Cam Ward, pre-Blackhawks Cam Ward, Carolina Hurricanes Cam Ward. I was a fan of him.
I liked the thought of Cam Ward.
Yeah. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. I have never been ashamed to say I love the Flower. I loved him in Pittsburgh. I loved him in Vegas. We got him in a trade for literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Mikhail Hakkarainen, who they then separated ties and they no longer have him under contract.
We got the Vezina Trophy winner for a fucking handshake. Not even a bag of used pucks. We got him for a handshake.
Yep. And then what?
So happy. We talked in the preseason. I was like, we got Flower. And we have all of these pieces. And things are happening. We got Tyler Johnson from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tyler Johnson
Seth
played.
Jones. And
Tyler
Caleb.
Johnson played in Norfolk.
Got his brother too.
Look, we drafted Colton Dock. This is family.
All about the brothers here.
We love family. This is a family team. Things are going to happen. The preseason was oh. Hold on. Are we good at hockey again? What's happening right now? Are we good at hockey again?
Yeah, people had hopes for this team.
And then the season started in Colorado.
What was it? 3 goals in the first 10 minutes?
Something like that.
Less than that, I think, even.
There was a goal in 40-something seconds?
Yeah.
And we all went, what happened?
I thought we had the Vezina winner in net.
What happened? What's happening right now? Mm-hmm. And I am not a fan of Jeremy Colleton's coaching style. I do not believe in the 1-2-2 system. I do not. It does not work at the National Hockey League level.
Okay.
It does not work. I will die on that hill. I know we disagree on this.
Totally.
I know we do.
But I will always love Jeremy for getting my Ice Hogs to the playoffs.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
And finally, Ted Dent was no longer the coach of my Ice Hogs. And then Jeremy came in. He was this bright, shining ray of sunshine on to the team. And then the Blackhawks stole him. So we got Derek fucking King as our head coach.
I was always of the opinion that you could have him back.
What?
I was always of the opinion that you could have him back.
Me too.
Please have him back. He was successful in Rockford. That did not transfer to the NHL. So logically, the interim tag should not have stayed. He should have returned to his position.
He was very rushed into the NHL.
He should have returned to his position in the AHL, where he was successful.
And led the Ice Hogs back to the playoffs, where Derek King could not get them.
There were a lot of available coaches in the recycling bin of NHL coaches.
You know, after Florida just put him in a cab and sent him off to Vegas. That was so weird. And then Vegas just all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Pete Boer's our coach.
We want him. We want this guy that we've played against a lot. We like him, so let's take him.
Yep, you know, San Jose beat us in that weird fucking game where they had the major penalty and then they tied it, and
so many goals.
Tied it up because they went ahead, and then we went to overtime, and then they scored on us, and then we lost.
So many goals. But like, there were so many other coaches that had NHL experience that were available. I was happy to send Jeremy Colliton back to Rockford.
That would have been
because he was successful there. You could have had him back.
Just if it wasn't for fucking Texas and fucking. We'll never look at those green boys the same fucking way because we should have won that goddamn series, but it went to overtime and it was fucking goalie interference, and you can't make me believe otherwise.
2014 Blackhawks Kings overtime. That was a high stick. High stick.
Don't remind me.
High stick. Another hill you and I will both die on.
That I can't make myself rewatch that 2014 game where they lost because I can just see the puck going off of Nick Leddy's shoulder past Corey Crawford from Alec fucking Martinez, and
with his stick up here
punched a hole in my wall on accident.
See, it would have been ill-advised for me to do that. I lived in a house that is basically a bomb shelter on a military base. It would have been very ill-advised for me to punch a wall. The outside of my house was made of cinder blocks. So
I mean, it was ill-advised for me to also do it. So it was in the house that I live in currently, which used to be my dad's house, and then he moved, so I live here now. And where I was sitting on top of the stairs, where I sent you the picture earlier, is funnily enough the first place I ever watched a Blackhawks game. And it's like in between the kitchen and the living room, so it's just like the place to land.
Yeah,
just sitting at the top of the stairs. So I was sitting there, and then that overtime goal went in, and I just lost control of my body, and my hand just went bam right into the wall, and then there was a hole there. I was like, whoops.
Well, shit, what did I just do? What just happened? I don't know what just happened.
Shit. It wasn't me. I'm just gonna leave.
One of the cats must have seen something on the wall and just jumped up and boof.
Yeah,
head-butted the wall. The cat head-butted the wall. That's what happened.
But unfortunately, my dad was watching the game with me, so we saw it happen, and you know, it was fine.
Like, I don't know what happened. That was evil, Courtney. I don't know where she came from. Just like, poof, there she was.
That's what happens when you lose sandwiched between two cup wins.
Yeah. When I mean,
stupid fucking pucks go past my goaltender, I get pissed off. But that Michael
it would have been 3.
Goal, I almost fell down those same stairs because I was so excited.
There were so many pretty goals in that 2013 year with that win streak.
Yeah.
And the beautifulness.
That was
and
good.
Fucking Colorado had to ruin that shit.
Colorado ruins everything.
I really wanted to be the team that ruined their home win streak. I wanted to give them a little bit of their own medicine.
Me too. It would have kind of been just like the Wolves win streak this year. It started by beating the Ice Hogs, and then they won 12 straight fucking games, and then they lost to the Ice Hogs 8-0.
I love bookends. Bookends are my favorite.
They're wonderful.
They're so beautiful.
They're wonderful.
But
you know
I
what?
would love
also go ahead.
I would love to give them their first regulation loss at home this season, because I'm pretty sure there's still a chance that we can do that. I mean, there's a chance that we could do that.
If they all get injured, maybe.
I mean, McKinnon's already out, so
it still couldn't help us win.
his poor face, though. I mean, that was a series of very unfortunate events.
It really was.
And
that looked
like Lemony Snicket could write a whole novel about exactly what happened in that hit, because that was a series of very unfortunate events. And I kind of felt bad for Taylor Hall because he had no choice but to take a penalty because a major had already been assessed. So they couldn't not give him a penalty.
They couldn't just be like, oh, you're not penalized. They can only move
they could just be
to
like,
a minor penalty.
Our bad. You didn't actually high stick him. He high sticked himself.
Which is what they should have called on the fucking Sharks against the Vegas Golden Knights in that fucking game when DeBoer won against them with the fucking Sharks.
Well, this is why we have the review rule for that now, because of that particular incident.
Just like because of the fucking Colorado Avalanche when Matt Duchene was a mile offside. That's why we have the fucking offside challenge, which takes for fucking ever every time the coaches fucking use it.
Well, we've got to see, was his foot hovering over the blue line? Because if his heel was over the blue line and he didn't have possession of the puck,
obviously gave him a fucking advantage, even if he didn't touch the goddamn puck the whole fucking play. Oh my god.
But that did work out in our favor earlier this season because he had control of the puck. That was the weirdest control of the puck I've ever seen in my life. But it worked out in our favor, so I'll take the goal. Thank you very much.
Like, that shouldn't have been a goal.
It shouldn't have, but you know what? I'll take it. They said it was, so you know what? It was a goal. The referee said it, so it must be true.
Yeah, that's how that works, right?
Sure.
I think we're avoiding talking about the real topic.
We are. This is what we're really good at. I feel like we need to take a quick time out before we really get into this because I'm out of wine.
Go for it. I can refill mine too.
Okay, perfect. Be right back, friend. And I decided to be smart and brought a whole backup bottle of wine.
There you go.
After refilling my cup of wine.
One time my therapist told me that I was the best at evading questions.
Yeah. I feel like this is why we don't do a podcast together, because it would just be like 17 hours of us bullshitting before we got to like the facts that we were supposed to be discussing.
I mean, have you ever listened to a From Sunrise podcast? That's why they're like 3 hours
I
long.
have. I have, and I love it. Because like I can get in the car and put From Sunrise on, and I can like go run errands, put my AirPods in, like go to the gym, listen, come home, and I'm like, all right, now we're done.
You can like finish your whole day and you're like, cool.
Exactly.
They were just with me the whole time. I guess this is where I should insert that yes, Jacqueline and I will both be back recording From Center Ice podcast.
Love you, Jacqueline. I'm sorry you're not here right now. Oh, wait. Yes. Isn't Johnny Rockford going to be around soon?
Yeah, he gets off work in like 20 minutes. He'll be fine.
He can just hop in. It's fine. He can just join the conversation.
Totally can. He can sit in Jacqueline's chair right there. Yeah.
See, I keep forgetting that you're an hour behind me because I just looked at my watch. I was like, oh, it's 11:40. Not for you.
Yeah, good old Central Time. So, all of that bullshitting brings us...
led us to the pain.
Once again, back to today, where we talked about what happened in the beginning of this town hall that the Blackhawks decided was a genius idea for them to do. Like, I knew it was going to be a shit show. I just didn't know what kind of shit show it was going to be.
Didn't expect it to be this level of a shit show. Like,
I didn't expect this level of shit show either. I just thought it was going to be like how it started, just a bunch of fluff and nothing. And
I knew several media members had said on the Bird that they weren't going to avoid the question of the Kyle Beach situation. Lazarus said he was going to talk about it. Scott Powers said he was going to talk about it. Pretty much any Chicago media member with any sort of credibility was like, if I get called on, I'm going to ask the question. And we were all like, we love you because these are questions we need answers to. And Lazarus stepped up first. When he said Mark, I was like, oh shit, hold on. Let me grab onto something because it's about to happen.
Yeah, when they called on Mark, I was like, he's not going to let us down.
You saw me on Twitter. I was like, Laz, don't let us down. Laz did not let us down.
People have their qualms with Mark and how he's historically like thrown softballs at the franchise or whatever, but throughout all of this, he has been like the MVP. Him and Scott
the MVP
Powers
of Chicago media have been Laz and Scott Powers. And I think a lot of that, I mean, in the past, it wasn't The Athletic. It was whoever they were working for.
He was with the Chicago Sun-Times, I want to say.
Yeah. Which isn't that who Phil's with now? Or is he with the Tribune?
Yes.
Because both of them like MVP awards for life.
Let me look, because I just pulled up one of Phil's tweets. Oh, he is with the Tribune. He's a Tribune guy.
Okay.
I think Laz was with the Sun-Times.
Gotcha. But
maybe
that, I mean, obviously they're going to tell him what direction he's allowed to go in, because that's just how print media works. The Athletic seems to have given any writer who comes on board a lot of freedom.
Even though they were now bought by the New York Times. Look, fucking Wordle. No, I'm not going to get sidetracked again.
No, we're not going to get sidetracked on Wordle. So, Lazarus, first media question.
Yeah, first, very first.
Everyone just grabbed onto anything that was in their vicinity.
Yep.
Because we all knew, because he said he was going to
ask about it.
He's going to ask about it. And when he said Kyle Beach's name,
I was like, finally, somebody said Kyle's name.
And the part that was so infuriating is, yes, he mentioned Kyle's name, but he was not asking about what happened in 2010.
No.
He was asking about what the organization is going to do to prevent this power struggle now and in the future.
Yep.
Not 11 years ago, because obviously none of us have a fucking DeLorean and can time travel.
God, I wish we fucking did, because we wouldn't be in this fucking position.
No, we would not be, because we would be like, fuck you, Stan. Fuck you, John McDonough. Fuck you, Joel Quenneville. Out.
And especially fuck you to this little...
Fuck you, Brad Aldrich. I hope you fall into a ravine. A very,
Chicago
very deep
River.
ravine.
I hear it's pretty harsh sometimes.
Yeah, but see, it's not like, never ending. He needs to go explore mine shafts. He needs to go explore some mine shafts.
He lives in the fucking UP of Michigan. There's a ton of copper mines.
There's plenty. Brad, I've heard great things about the iron mines in the UP of Michigan. You should really go investigate those and just keep walking. Don't stop. Just keep walking.
But not into Lake Superior, because I love Lake Superior, so I don't want it like
just in the mines. Like, just keep walking.
Yep.
Just keep walking. If all of a sudden there's no floor underneath you, like, I'm so sorry.
You should have gone the right way. Like,
yeah, you should have not been an asshole.
Yeah, I mean.
And then, because we're avoiding again.
Yeah, so Mark gets up there and he asks a question. I don't have the transcript in front of me, but says, like, you've been talking about accountability, and it seems like when this happened with Kyle Beach back in 2010, it was because of a power imbalance. And how are players going to feel empowered now to be able to come forward and talk about anything if they need to?
I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about this. We were not talking about this. We were not talking about 2010.
All right, guys. Verbatim. Rocky Wirtz.
That's my Rocky Wirtz impression. That's my Rocky Wirtz impression, guys. I hope it was great. We're not talking about this.
So when the town hall started, I had gotten food delivered to me, and I was just like, cool, I'm just gonna sit here, eat my dinner, listen to all of this. And then I was just, eating my appetizer, which was pretzel bites, jalapeno pretzel bites with cheese. It was great. I was having a great time. And then Mark asks his question. I'm like, yeah, that's my man. And then...
We're not talking about this!
Yes.
Arr.
That's exactly what happened.
I yell at clouds.
What the actual fuck? What?
I wish I could give you an answer, but I want to give some mad props real quick to Danny Wirtz, because he tried to step in.
He tried.
And got told to shut the fuck up, essentially.
Yeah, Rocky was basically like, you shut the fuck up. We're not talking about this. Like, And this is the moment where you saw the souls of Jamie, Danny, and Eddie just leave their bodies.
This is also the moment where every single potential GM candidate that we had that was going to be interviewed was like, you know, I really love where I am right now. I don't think I'm ready to make a change.
I'm not gonna work there, actually. It's just you have Kyle Davidson. He seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a good boy. Like he should do well.
He only trades people for future considerations. It'll go great for you.
It's fine. Like looking at Bleacher Network, Blackhawks, Patrick Flowers and Mario Terabasi. They put out a great.
My man. I love that guy.
They put out a great list of GM candidates.
Did they? I didn't see it.
They did. They put it out earlier today. Well, almost yesterday for me.
Hey, it's still today in my time zone.
And there were several amazing female candidates on that list. Because, nothing says we fucked up, but we're doing better. Like hiring the first female GM in NHL history.
And we just talked about this on the Storm Cellar podcast.
We did, with Emily and her being the first assistant GM that's female for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah,
and
those guys invited us.
I can't love Vancouver. I just can't. But I can love that part of Vancouver.
Those rivalry days run deep. That was my first hockey heartbreak. That overtime in Game 7 fucking
cuts.
Campoli, that name is burned in my brain. I will not get sidetracked.
But you know what makes me really happy about that whole situation is when they lost the cup at home to the Bruins and then rioted and destroyed their own city.
That was a time.
What a time to be alive. The 2010s were.
The one and only time I've ever loved Tim Thomas.
So Sean Thornton played in Norfolk. Great guy. My dad has his hockey pants.
Oh, really?
So I was cheering for Boston just because of Sean. And 100%, my dad and I have had this conversation with many people. The Bruins would not have won that Stanley Cup if it wasn't for Sean Thornton.
They wouldn't have. He was a great.
It's even. Guy. He has a book. He just released a book a couple months ago, and I purchased it, of course, because I support my dudes. Like that's how I roll. It's a good book. And there are several guys in there who are like, we would not have won that cup if not for the man we're speaking of today.
He was huge.
Sean Thornton, everybody. Sean fucking Thornton. My dad has his pants.
And then
but anyway, we're getting distracted again.
Fucked off into the middle of the woods, never to be heard.
with his crazy and his. I mean, he came out of the woods like once to talk to the Spit and Chicklets guys, I think.
Oh, but, of course.
Because of course.
And he's also like a big, like bad side of the political spectrum, dude. But like
we don't talk about that guy.
Yeah, fucking off to the middle of the woods is like a hashtag mood, but the rest of it.
Not gonna lie, there are many times where I just want to fuck off to the middle of the woods, like farm cats, sell some produce on the road. Let's go.
Exactly.
Like,
anyways,
anyway, we're doing this again. So
it's just so fucking awful.
Rocky Wirtz loses his shit for a period of time.
Loses his shit. Like,
I don't know if it's still the case.
I've never seen him have that much emotion. Not even when they won the Stanley Cup.
He went from looking like grandpa sleeping at like a family reunion to rage.
Yeah.
Like that.
He was like
he was sitting there. I was like, is he asleep?
Yeah.
He looks like he's asleep because he was like, if you have like an old racist grandpa and you bring up a person of color, they're like, wait a second. Hold on. Not that we're saying we are not accusing Rocky Wirtz of racism. Just putting that out there. Like, we don't know. We don't know.
We still don't have a resolution to a Kima Lou's story.
True statement. But I think that's more the NHL than anything. We're going to drink on that. Also, tape out hate. Like, I just went through a whole bunch of shit here in Jacksonville that I don't even want to go on that tangent.
That'll be another
wrote an article. It's on Belly Up. You are more than welcome to search Beth Bolger on Belly Up and find my article.
There you go.
Hot mess. But he shot up like somebody changed my grandpa. love him, God rest his soul. He would nap in his chair. And if you change the TV channel, this man is deaf. Like deaf. Like the most words I heard on the phone with him were, huh? If you change that TV channel, that man woke up from a dead sleep. I was watching that. That, everyone, I know everybody has a grandparent that does that. Like everybody has one. Mm-hmm. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Rocky Wirtz. Just, I'll answer this question. We're
if you
not
try to talk to me during a hockey game, what did you just say?
What are you talking about? Unless it involves hockey, leave me alone.
We're not talking about that right now.
Why are you trying to talk to me about some other inferior sport other than hockey right now while hockey is on the television?
But he was like, we're not talking about 11 years ago. Just, it's none of your business. It's none of your business. He said that. It is none of your business.
Rocky, you said in your motherfucking press release, we are going to be open and motherfucking transparent.
Where is the open and transparency there? Sir, none of your business.
You are not a part of this organization. I am not going to discuss this with you.
How much closer to this fucking organization can you get than Mark fucking Lazarus? He is at every press availability.
He is at every fucking practice.
He misses time with his children for this fucking team.
He brings home stuffed animals from Toronto for his children and gets COVID for this fucking team.
But he's not a part of this team, and it is none of your business to talk about Kyle Beach.
Fucking business is it, Rocky?
Him through. Is this why they made him sign an NDA? Like, at first when that came out, I was like, okay, well, maybe he agreed to this. Maybe he's fine with that because he doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
That's pretty standard, like, lawsuit procedure as an NDA. Like,
but now
we settle out of court.
I'm like, did they like make him do that? Because they're not going to talk about it anymore. We're not going to talk about Kyle Beach. Like, I feel like he said those words specifically. We're not going to talk about Kyle Beach. Yet.
No, I feel like he said we're not going to talk about that situation.
Even worse.
Which is even worse because say his fucking name. His name is Kyle Beach. He was a first-round draft pick for this organization.
Mid-teens.
Treated him like dog shit. I think 12. I think he was a 12.
I think you might be right.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
You're going to the Google right now, aren't you?
Yep.
To the Google we go. But like,
I kind of fear what comes up first. Oh, Chicago Blackhawks owner Rocky Wirtz adamant franchise is not going to talk about Kyle Beach is what happens first. And then Blackhawks owner Rocky Wirtz erupts over fair questions about Kyle Beach cover-up, which is true.
I love fair questions. That's such a good like headline.
That is a good one. Daily Face-Off.
If anyone who is a Blackhawks fan, who has been a Blackhawks fan for an extended period of time, who lived through the 10s with the Blackhawks. Oh God, if you've been a Blackhawks fan, if you started after 2015, I am so sorry. Like, this is
Jacqueline did. Jacqueline did.
Jacqueline, baby.
I know.
Honey.
I know.
Bless you. Like, bless you, sweet, sweet soul.
It was the year after that cup. He was 11th overall. So yeah, you were one off.
Like, the outrage that erupted from 99% of Blackhawks folks on Twitter. Because you know the 1% I'm talking about, because I see your face. I grew up a military brat. My mom was in the Navy. My ex-husband was in the Navy. If you want to talk about drama, let me tell you. Most of the time when you live on a military base, you don't need cable television, friends. You just need to step outside and sit on your front porch. So, that is me.
I mean, they're mostly all abusive to their spouses.
Luckily, I was never physically abused, but I'll leave it at that. And take a drink. Please don't make me spit wine out of my nose. Look, I'm gonna throw this out there. I mean, if people have made it this far, like stick taps to you
for real,
because this has been a fucking train wreck. Emotional abuse is real. Verbal abuse is real. Verbal abuse is more than people just calling you names. Like withholding is verbal abuse. There's all sorts of different forms of verbal abuse.
Fuck you up.
That shit fucks you up. It is no fucking joke. And 99.9% of the time, you do not realize it until it is too late.
Yeah.
So,
because it starts small, right? Like they're not just.
Oh yeah.
They don't just start like, oh my god, you fucking cunt. Like
they just don't stop telling you things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't just start with like all of a sudden now they just don't communicate. Like if that shit would have happened, I would have had like 15 of my fucking years of my life back. It's fine. That's not how it starts. By the way, if you are a hockey fan and your spouse calls a team the Detroit Red Sox, red flag. Red flag.
Like red flag. All hate the Red Wings here.
Don't take it as a joke. Don't be like, ha 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 ha. He was making it funny. Red flag.
Like we all hate Detroit here. We're Blackhawks fans. Detroit sucks, right? They're an original 16. Like respect where it came from.
Our OG rivalry. Our OG rivalry. Like fuck you, Detroit. Fuck you. Also, moving into the Eastern Conference was the biggest fucking mistake ever. Ever.
Yes. Also, if people have never been to Detroit but hate the city of Detroit, another red flag, because that city's fucking awesome.
Detroit is awesome. I mean, he was from Michigan, so like been to Detroit. Look, the man never ice skated. He didn't know how to ice skate. He didn't watch sports. He didn't like hockey. He fell asleep at hockey games, Courtney.
How do you fall asleep at a hockey game? Like I've been to enough, I probably could if I'm super tired, but
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
That's a big old red flag right there.
Well, live and learn. Then get divorced.
Just, next time date somebody who's a hockey fan. Maybe not the fan of your biggest rival, but
top 3 requirements. Top 3 requirements for future spouse. Must love hockey. Must love working out. Must not go fuck other people.
Hey,
I'm not asking for requirements. Much. I am not asking for much.
No, that's pretty simple, really.
One of my friends was like, "You need more than 3." I was like, "No, I really don't." That's it.
That about covers it. Anything
that
else
pretty much covers everything. Yeah, I can work through like pretty much anything. But you must love hockey. You must like working out. And you must not fuck other people.
Yep.
I mean, that feels pretty like simple.
It seems very simple. Like with my girlfriend, I made sure I was like, I am the biggest hockey nerd you are probably going to meet. You have to be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, it led with that. Like, I love hockey. I've always loved hockey. Hockey was my first love. Hockey is my first love. I can't not like hockey, which is why I'm struggling right now. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Especially when the team you fall in love with is the 2010 Blackhawks.
I mean, I fell in love with like the 91, 92 Blackhawks, so more heartbreak.
Lost in the final.
And funny story, so in 92, the Cup went for like a tour of all of the NHL cities, and we lived in DC. And my dad worked at the Capitals practice facility, and the Cup was there. And little like 5-year-old, 6-year-old me hugged the Cup because Cup.
Yeah.
For my entire life, I blamed myself for the Blackhawks never winning the Stanley Cup.
And then they did. And that team
was like, oh my God. Tainted forever.
Everybody. Yeah. Like,
it's taken a lot for me to separate the front office nonsense from the on-ice product. Because realistically, they are two very different worlds.
To do that. I haven't figured out how to do it. Like, I think about all those teams, and they used to bring me so much joy. Now I think about them, and I'm like, well, you were there, you were there, you were there, you were there.
The 2015 team is the easiest one for me to not be heartbroken over. For two reasons. Most of the people from 2010 are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I
it
got to see
was just the leadership group. Our awesome leadership group was the only ones left.
That's it. The core, those core guys. But I also got to see a Stanley Cup final game live and in person in Tampa.
Ooh. Was it the one where Hedman ran into Bishop? Because that's my favorite hockey moment ever.
That was the greatest fucking hockey moment ever. So it was amazing.
What was that, game 5?
So game 5, I was not in the arena. I was in Thunder Alley.
Oh.
Which is like outside of the arena.
Okay, where they have all the drinks and stuff before the game.
And like you just bring your own chair. And they have like a big like projector screen situation.
Oh, that's nice.
But I was there for game 2. The one where Ben Bishop shit himself on ice. And like left the game and then came back in the game and then left. Yeah, I was there for that one.
That series was a literal shit show.
Literally, Ben Bishop like shit himself on the ice. So we're doing that thing again.
Where we're evading talking about the bad thing by talking about the good thing.
Yes.
Okay, but I will say 2013 was my favorite just because it was Crawford's first cup and 17
fucking
seconds.
Right, Chicago!
Fucking right, Chicago!
Greatest parade. Like my heart broke when I had to swap out my Xfinity like DVR box because I had that parade recorded. And it wasn't.
I was at the 15 rally at Soldier Field.
Well, I live in Florida.
The bad thing.
Logistically.
These are the good things. The bad thing.
Can we just dwell on fucking Right Chicago for just a second though? Because like that gives me the endorphins I need to get through the bad thing.
I was watching it from my couch and I almost fell off the couch laughing. It's like, that's my fucking goalie right there.
I almost peed my pants laughing because that was amazing.
The best fucking thing I've ever seen.
Like drunk Corey Crawford.
Beauties in the league. They
the biggest bunch of beauties in the league work their fucking nuts off. Like, oh, that like inject that into my veins. Like,
I will fight anybody over my goalie. I will physically fight anybody. I will throw these hands.
I'm just gonna throw this out there because I welcome you trolling him on the internet because I troll him in real life because it's what I do. Vinny from the Rough Cut Sportscast hates Corey Crawford. Says he is not an elite goaltender.
I thought I was done with this last year.
And doesn't deserve to be in the same conversations as people like Henrik Lundqvist. Who, by the way,
who won how many fucking cups? Who won how many cups? Who lost
to
Kings in the final in 5 games? 5 games. Couldn't even take it 6 or 7. 5.
Who, by the way, has almost identical stats to Corey Crawford.
Look, I love Lundqvist, but if you bring up my goalie in comparison,
if you
I will fucking fight.
If you actually pull up the actual stats between Hank and Corey, they are almost identical career-wise, except for Corey Crawford has 2 Stanley Cups.
And should have a Conn Smythe. Even Kane said he should have a Conn Smythe.
100%.
Oh, the Blackhawks lost 5-0 tonight.
Awesome. I'm sure my fantasy roster looks great because I made the awesome decision to play Marc-Andre Fleury this evening.
Yikes. Oh, I hope I had my wild players in the lineup. I don't know if I set my roster.
Oh, I really hope it didn't save because ESPN has just saved me a couple times and just not saved roster changes. Oh, look, final Minnesota 5, Blackhawks 0. Yeesh. And you want to know the other fantasy goaltender I have?
Who?
Cam Talbot.
Okay.
I foresee pain in my future when I open up my fantasy app. Thankfully, it's a 2-weeker instead of a 1-weeker because of the All-Star game. Pain.
Who fucking scored tonight? I have Ryan Hartman and Joel Eriksson Ek on my team, and neither of them had any points.
Of course.
And they scored 5 goals. Who scored tonight?
Can you give me some sadness and just take a look at my fantasy team?
Ooh, let's see here.
Thankfully, I was up by 7 points, so it can't be that awful.
Members, Jacksonville. Let's see here.
We're in the same fantasy league. You just have to swipe over.
You got 2 goals and 1 assist.
Ooh.
You got a goal from Clayton Keller and Evgeny Kuznetsov. And then, you got a win from Jonathan Quick.
All right, Jonathan Slow. Thanks, bud. Look, I dropped Koskinen
5-3.
Look, I saw that Quick was playing in Detroit, and I was like, I don't play him a lot.
Talk about 2014 all fucking over again.
I dropped Koskinen and picked up Quick because Koskinen's a fucking dumpster fire in Edmonton right now.
That was a good choice. LA is doing a lot better than Edmonton. But anyway, the Blackhawks.
Dumpster fire.
So Lazarus asked.
Tell me how bad my fantasy team is doing real quick before we get to this.
They're doing fine. They did better than mine did tonight. I didn't get any points.
Gotcha. So am I still winning?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
By the way, wine bottle number 2, already like a third of the way gone. Okay, good. As long as I'm still winning, because it's my mission in life to win this fucking fantasy league.
I should probably remember to set my rosters.
You probably should. Do you need me to send you reminders? Because okay, I'll send you reminders. I will be your hockey mom, and I will send you reminders for setting your fantasy leagues. You're welcome. All right. So Mark Lazarus asked the question about now and future.
And then basically got told to shut the absolute fuck up by Rocky.
Rocky goes, man yells at clouds and screams at Lazarus. And then poor Eddie Olczyk had to then go to the cards and start reading fan questions and try to bring this fucking shit show back on the tracks. Like,
yes. And now John's here, so I'm gonna go get him, and then we will resume this.
Special guest, let's go.
Special guest.
Woo-hoo!
One moment.
Okie dokie. We left off at Rocky Wirtz being an angry man who yells at clouds.
Oh yeah, so
Danny Wirtz saying, "I've got this," and then being like, "Shut the fuck up, son.
Yeah,
do what I say.
Stop, son. Then, I've got this.
I've got this, child. You shut your mouth right now." And then Eddie Olczyk having to bring this shit show back onto the fucking tracks.
And then Phil asked his question.
Well, no, there were some fan questions.
Oh, that's right.
Things settled down a little bit. The happiness came back a little bit with the fluff.
They asked about ticket sales and shit.
And this sweet woman who Jamie. Oh, Jamie.
She tried.
Sweet woman. Just, you don't have to, we're not forcing you to buy preseason tickets anymore. We're going to guarantee you giveaways and
season ticket
you can swap seats, and the longer you've been with us, the more perks you're going to get.
And I was on board with this. I was like, okay, this needs to trickle down to the Ice Hogs. Like,
this needs to trickle down to all of hockey.
The guaranteed giveaways. I shouldn't have to go to a game if I'm paying for said game.
Hold on, let me stand up real quick. I have been an Iceman season ticket holder for all 5 years. Tell me why I had to go to my rep to get this, because there were none at the door. It is a Zamboni piggy bank. It is a piggy bank Zamboni. I had to get one from my season ticket rep because there were none at the door, because these were supposed to be given out for fan appreciation pre-COVID that year.
Yikes.
And they didn't get given out because the season didn't finish.
Sure didn't. I'm pretty sure there's just like a closet full of giveaways at the BMO for Ice Hawk stuff.
Oh, I all but guarantee that is the case. But you know, yeah. I got one for myself. I mailed one to my dad. It now lives in Chicago.
Perfect.
Because that's what I do. I get one for me and one for my dad. You've seen pictures of my dad's basement. It is impressive. Impressive. But, you know, season ticket members should be guaranteed giveaway items.
You would think.
I give you my dollars in advance to attend every game.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I should get all of the things.
Nah, but if you are not there early enough, you do not get said
I have this really cool thing called a job. And I get off of work at 5:45 p.m. and your doors open at 6. And I live 20 minutes away. Do the math.
The math does not add up.
No, this does not compute.
It doesn't. But you know who should not have a job?
Rocky Wirtz.
That's
should
the one.
Not have a fucking job.
That's
you know
the
what?
One.
I would be happy to leave him with the owner title. You know what? You can continue to give us the dollars. And we will give you the dollars. But you should not be the fucking chairman of this fucking organization.
You should shut the fuck up.
You old man who yells at clouds. You old man who yells at clouds. You need to shut the fuck up, Rocky Wirtz.
It's like
because
the name Kyle Beach is the trigger for him to wake up from that slumber, like you said before, and just get angry.
Well, he's probably angry because he had to give Kyle Beach a significant number of dollars.
You know who else is probably angrier? The one who
Kyle
got
fucking Beach
assaulted.
Kyle Beach is probably 40,000 times angrier than you will ever be, Rocky Wirtz.
Oh yeah.
And there is not enough money in the world to make up for the shit he had to go through.
Because of your franchise.
Because of your staff members. Not just your franchise, the people you employed and paid dollars to.
And they were so intent on, we're going to do things the right way. People are going to be held.
We're going to win the right way.
Win the right way. We are going to win the right way. How many times?
If I hear win the right way more fucking time. We're winning the right way, guys. No, you're not. Right now, you're losing.
You're losing
the right way, but you're fucking losing.
Nothing tonight. You did not.
You're
win
losing
anyway.
the right way. It's fine. You're losing the right way. You know, you're not losing like shit bags and like letting bad shit happen to people.
Yep. As far as we know.
As far as we know.
Because I don't trust the goddamn thing they do. So
look, Uncle Derek, I'm not a fan.
Don't get me started.
The way he told Alex DeBrincat that he was going to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I have issues.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
This is this kid's first motherfucking All-Star game.
First one.
He was looked over his entire life because he's little.
Not big enough to play in the NHL.
Not a big dude. Passed over in the draft. Hell, one of my friends, they did an NHL All-Star Game draft, and like 6 or 7 rounds in, I was like, you know, your disrespect for Alex DeBrincat is showing, just like in his fucking draft year.
How about that? Where we got him in the second round with a pick that we got for Andrew Shaw.
Oh, Shawzy. I'm so disappointed in him these days. It's fine.
Yeah, then what happened?
Well, then ironically, one of my friends drafted him on his all-star draft team, but it's fine. But the fact that he was like, oh yeah, by the way, Alex, you're going to the all-star game. All right, have a good day, guys. Excuse me, sir.
Everything about this franchise is broken. And it starts at the top.
You can be a fun uncle for the press.
You are not a coach.
You cannot be a fun uncle telling a kid who is about to be a dad, by the way, like, congrats, Alex, to break it. Like, having like you
such a baby.
I know, and he's got the two cutest little Shebas ever. I love Ralph and Bert. They're my favorite. Ralph and Bert are the best. Like, about to be a dad, going to his first All-Star game. Like, we should be building this team around Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah, but everybody can just be traded now. Everybody's available. Because we're going to do things the right way. Which means signing Seth Jones.
For 8 years!
$9.5 million.
Why was Sam Bowman allowed to make fucking decisions?
I don't know. Maybe they thought he wasn't gonna leave. Even so, it was a bad signing. Even if that person who shall not be named was going to stay around.
I am very much of the opinion that he knew he was no longer going to have a job, and he was like, you know what? These are the things I'm going to do to fuck with you. I'm going to bring back Eric Gustafson. I'm going to bring Eric Gustafson back. Thank you very much. And I'm going to sign Seth Jones for 8 years at $9.5 million.
I forgot about Gus.
Fuck you.
I forgot about Gus. Just everything is bad. And then it all came to a head tonight.
We're not going to talk about 2010.
We're not going to talk about it. It's none of your
business. It's none of your concern. You're not a part of this organization. Pardon me, sir.
Yep.
My closet says otherwise.
So
my walls say otherwise.
How do you feel about the Chicago Blackhawks right now?
I want to fire Rocky Wirtz into the sun. Because, like, because Phil asked his question.
Yes.
And didn't even get to get his whole question out before Rocky was like, we're not talking about this.
No, came back from Sleepy Grandpa because you changed the fucking channel. Back to Kyle Beach.
Came back and got all ragey again. Yep. Still didn't even get to finish his question. And repeatedly said, am I allowed to finish my question?
That was the
best
thing. Am I allowed
to finish my question? Am I allowed to finish my question?
Standing up for himself. Can I finish my question, Rocky?
Let's go. But no, man yells at cloud part fucking 2. But the fact that after the town hall that ended 12 minutes early, by the way, because it was supposed to be an hour-long town hall.
Yep.
It started late and ended at 48 after.
I was staring
at that's not a fucking hour.
Event will start soon thing for like 20 minutes.
So not an hour.
Mm-mm.
And man, Phil. Whew. Now, I will say, I know Charlie works for NBC Sports Chicago.
I was so disappointed.
I was so disappointed, Charlie.
I don't even remember what question he asked.
He asked something about hockey ops. That's all I remember.
It was
because then as soon as he said hockey ops, I turned off. Like, I don't need to listen to this question because we're just going to get more fucking fluff.
Yep. And they were like, oh yeah, I'll answer that one.
And they're like, oh yeah. Danny, go ahead and take this one, bud.
Yeah.
You got this, son. I'm proud of you.
And then Rocky had the nerve to like smile and joke with Eddie as they were ending the town hall early.
Did Rocky miss his nap today? Like, did he forget to take his pregame nap
to come here? Like, what the fuck was that?
Like, did he not get his pregame nap? Did he not get a sandwich before the presser? Like,
he probably ate some cold fucking waffle fries like I had to because I was so flabbergasted by what the fuck was going down. I didn't eat my fucking food.
See, I was actually smart enough to eat prior to.
Oh, I didn't. I forgot it was happening. And so they were like, watch live now. I was like, oh, fuck.
For me, like, I had to eat dinner at the old people time because I live in the Eastern time zone. So that didn't start.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it started at 7. So in order to be smart, I ate dinner like 5:30.
That was smart. Then you didn't have cold food like I did.
Correct.
I was just going along eating, and then he yelled at Mark, and I was like, I can't eat now. I'm angry. I have to go to the Twitter machine and talk about how angry I am.
I have to go to the bird and tell my friends who are also angry that I too am angry.
Exactly.
And then we can all talk together about how angry we are. And we can all praise Mark Lazarus for asking the question and opening the floodgates. And we can praise Phil for following up and asking more questions.
And then Charlie ends it.
Kyle Beach's name.
Finally, it took until the press questions.
And then Charlie. I know that you probably enjoy your time in the Blackhawks intermission report because I see you there every second intermission on ESPN Plus, doing your thing. I'm Charlie from NBC Sports Chicago.
Just on his laptop, just calling in.
Just hanging out on Zoom.
You know, I'm sure one of these other places would hire him. He does a pretty good job. He's gotten better as he's been on these.
He has. And you know, I really enjoyed the fact that Jamie was not hesitating about talking about Pat Foley and this being his final season and why. Like, we're not firing him. He asked for time off.
Although
he wants to retire
after things he said, but you know, it's
well, yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole nother situation. But you know, the dude, Pat Foley's old. Yeah. And he has made some amazing calls.
Absolutely.
And we love his tree in the turd. How can you not?
Old about tree 33 years ago, but you know.
it did, but you know, this season we haven't seen him as much, so then he says it's tree and it's like,
oh, nostalgia for good days that were actually bad days. So how do we really feel about this?
I don't know, because conflict.
Yep.
Conflicting feelings. That is that. If you are a Blackhawks fan, you should just title this video like stream of consciousness and conflicting feelings.
Yep, because that's what this was.
That's all this is. It's just us rambling on about the good old days and being like, well, fuck, those weren't the good old days, because fuck,
we're actually terrible.
Like, terrible shit happened.
Yep. And this is why it's conflicting.
And then old man yells at clouds. But, you know, we're going to divert and talk about good things again because we need those good feelings.
We need the good feelings to talk about the bad things. But then we need to talk about a lot of good things again to build us back up, to talk about the really bad things.
It's true. And we need wine.
Yes.
As well. Like,
very important.
But the softball hockey apps question, like, no, rile up grandpa some more. You know?
Right.
Like, Rocky Wirtz was the number 3 trending topic on my Twitter search page.
I think he was, number 5 in the country?
I live in Florida, and he was the number 3 trending topic on my Twitter search page.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's what this boils down to. Every time I talk about this shit, that's what it boils down to is, I don't know.
Well, here's my thing. The best solution, we got rid of everybody from 2010.
Except for?
Kyle Davidson.
Yeah, he's
and
still
Rocky
around,
Wirtz.
isn't he?
Well, technically he started in 2010, 2011.
Yeah, but
so,
you know.
Technically speaking, he wasn't around. But he was Stan Bowman's little bitch boy.
Yep.
So, if we're going to clean house from 2010, there are 2 people left.
All the way to the top.
There are two people left. One is an old man who yells at clouds.
One is the interim GM.
One is the interim GM who trades people for future considerations.
And that's
which honestly, better than the Seth Jones, Adam Boquist 2 first round trade.
You're not wrong.
Because I would take Adam Boquist any day.
You're not wrong.
I would take Cole Sillinger any fucking day.
Don't remind me. You want to talk about old man yells at cloud? Just bring up that fucking trade.
Draft pick to be determined at this year's draft coming up.
It's probably going to be like number 5. So it won't be a lottery pick, so it won't be protected, but it'll be right.
Because what else can we have but more pain?
More and more.
And like, I lived through the 90s Blackhawks. I grew up with the 90s Blackhawks and the 2000s Blackhawks.
And then it got to what appeared to be the golden days.
Then we got to the good times with the winning things and the goal scorings and the Patrick Kane point streaks.
Yeah.
And the no regulation loss streaks.
Yeah.
Fucking Colorado. I'm pretty sure they ended both the Patrick Kane point streak and the non-regulation loss streak.
Probably. I would believe it. It's probably fucking Varlamov. You know, just to make it even better. The guy who... We won't go there. We won't go there. We can go on so many different tangents about shitty people in the National Hockey League. But
we didn't even talk about Duncan Keith.
It's because my foot is stuck too far in my mouth. I can't actually talk. Like,
you know, we always wondered why he never talked to media in Chicago. And I think now we know why.
I think they just didn't want to talk to him. Is what it was.
I honestly, part of me thinks that the Blackhawks were like, talk to him. Don't do it. You know who you can talk to? You can talk to Taves. You can talk to Kane.
Taves, he was just suddenly sprouted this horrible attitude about everything. Yeah, let's talk to that guy.
I'm pretty sure like the Captain Serious Jonathan Taves got lost with COVID Taves.
COVID Taves
like COVID Taves took away Captain Serious. And then post-COVID Taves made sure to bury him like 27 feet under the ground so that he could never be found again.
I think you're right.
So that he can say dumb things like Stan Bowman's done amazing things for me.
Yep.
And then have the shittiest apology ever.
I don't think he ever actually walked that back.
He really didn't. But you know who did? The greatest transformational story in Chicago Blackhawks history?
Patrick Kane. Because who would have thought?
Papa Kane out here changing lives.
You know, God bless PK the third because he changed everything. Also,
he is fucking adorable.
He is really fucking cute.
Like, I love games where he's there and the Blackhawks Twitter posts PK3 sighting, and I'm like, there he is.
I just need to know if his eyebrows are going to be as large as his father's.
Probably.
Patty Kane has the largest fucking eyebrows I've ever seen.
I mean, they go with his like 7 head.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that receding hairline that magically came back.
How about that? It's stressful to have a child in COVID world. COVID Taves took over Kane's hairline.
COVID Taves gave Patty Kane his hair back.
Oh, Jesus. Well, this has been an episode and a half of, I don't really know what we've talked about. We tried to talk about the Blackhawks.
Stream of consciousness and man yells at clown.
Yep. That's about it.
That pretty much covers the randomness that happened. Like, This is what happens when Auntie Courtney and Auntie Beth get together and have a bottle and a half of wine.
That'll do it.
This is what you get. You get avoidance.
Yep.
You get slightly staying on topic.
Yep.
You get rage.
I feel like you get a lot of that without me and a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need the wine to have the rage.
No. It just
because
exaggerates it a little bit.
Dumpster fire.
Yes. But thank you so very much for joining me and trying to talk
Absolutely.
through this. Go ahead.
We did our best.
We really did.
We did our best.
We did.
We tried. But it's not easy shit to talk about.
It's not.
Oh. Blackhawks owner Rocky Wirtz apologizes for heated exchange that crossed the line. This just in. I'm going to need you to pull that up, ma'am.
Hold on.
This is ending at the perfect time. Hold up.
Okay. John with the assist here pulled it up.
Way to go, John. Let's go.
Statement from Rocky Wirtz. Mark Lazarus retweeted it. Tonight at the Chicago Blackhawks town hall, my response to 2 questions crossed the line. I want to apologize to the fans and those reporters. I regret that my response overshadowed the great work this organization is doing to move forward. We have the right leaders and right processes in place to create a safe environment for our employees and players.
I fucking can't. What kind of angry grandpa bullshit apology is that? Because you want to know what we wanted is the answer to those fucking questions.
Ta-da.
Fuck your apology, Rocky Wirtz. Fuck your apology. You want to know how you can apologize? You can answer the fucking questions.
He wrote that before he dozed back off into his grandpa slumber.
They gave him his Ambien before he went to bed. They're like, hold on, Grandpa. Hold on. Here, let me give you, here's the paper. Please tell the people how you're sorry so we can tell them for you, okay?
Oh my
You tell them right here. You write it down, okay?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so glad we got that in before we ended this. That was...
And you know what? I have a response to his apology. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
W. Rockwell Wirtz. I would like you to answer the fucking questions. That is your apology.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Period. End of statement.
Period. Kind of like, the 3 non-periods of hockey that apparently the Blackhawks played this evening.
Losing 5-0.
You remember when we used to beat the Wild and sweep them out of the playoffs?
Yeah, except for an outdoor game.
Yeah, but we swept them.
We did. And there were some shutouts in there by our goalie.
Oh, great.
So we'll end it on that good note with our goaltender shutting out the Blackhawks, which didn't happen tonight because they just decided to not re-sign our goalie and, send him off to free agency, and then he retired. So tell the people where they can find you, since it's been a while since we opened up this episode.
Fucking right, Chicago. You can follow me on the Twitter at WonderBeffers. You can follow me on the gram at GoodBetterBeffers. And you can check out my writing at beyondwomensports.com.
Perfect. Now go smash some energy drinks and get ready for that Team Canada game to come on later.
Oh, it's been going on for an hour and a half, so I'm going to have to catch up on some DVR recordings. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I thought you said you were going to have to be up till 3. What happened?
Yeah, I am, because it's a hockey game and those last for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Oh, that's fair.
It started at 11:10 Eastern.
Oh, so yeah, a half hour ago.
An hour and a half ago.
Hour and a half ago. Yes. You said 11:10 and I was like, oh, that was a half hour ago.
No, 11:10 Eastern.
Oh. All right. Well, go watch what's on now and then catch up with what happened beforehand.
Well, I was smart and I set my DVR to record it along with curling because it's also curling season, people. Hashtag throw that rock onto the button. Let's go.
Absolutely. I fucking love curling. Just like I've loved this episode, sort of. I've loved talking to you about this. Maybe not the topic at hand.
I love talking hockey with you, Courtney.
Yes. I love talking hockey with you.
I could talk hockey with you all day.
Me as well. We will have to do this again soon.
100%.
With that being said, I will catch you all in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.